Hello everyone. Today we are going to study the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, written by Stephen Spender, an English poet who was born in 1909 and died in 1995. In this poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, the poet has concentrated on the themes of social injustice and class inequalities. That means the disparity between the rich and the poor in the society. Let me now read out the poem to you all. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with a weighed-down head, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. At back of the dim class, one unnoted sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. On sour cream walls, donations. Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities, belt flowery tireless valley. Open-handed map, awarding the world its world. And yet, for these children, these windows not this map their world, were all their futures painted with a fog. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. Surely, Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless night. On their slag heap, these children wear skins peeled through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass like bottle bits on stone. All of their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break, oh break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books. The white and green leaves open, history theirs whose language is the sun. Now we're going to make a detailed analysis of the whole poem. The first stanza. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces. This is a contrast between the poor children studying in a slum and the children of the rich people. Gusty waves, far, far from gusty waves, strong and speedy, these children's faces. Like rootless weeds, the hair torn round the pallor. The children in the slum school, what is their appearance like? They are not energetic, they are not fresh like the rich children, okay? And they are like rootless weeds, unwanted. Weeds are unwanted plants in the garden. So they are like rootless weeds in the society. The hair torn round their pallor. The hair is not maintained because they can't afford pallor and in their pale face. The tall girl with her weighed down head. One girl, a tall girl is sitting there on her desk, but she is not able to hold her head upright. Why? Because of undernourishment. The paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes. Then there is another boy who is as thin as paper with rat's eyes. Eyes like the rat. The stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lessons from his desk. Another one. He is a diseased one, not properly developed. The stunted means he's the unlucky heir. Even his father also had that kind of a problem because of his poverty. So he has also inherited that disease from his father. That means because of undernourishment, he is not fully developed. At back of the dim class, one unnoted sweet and young. And then in the dimness of the class, you know, the class is not lighted properly. All our classes are lighted properly. That is a basic amenity of a classroom. But the elementary school classroom in the slum, was not even lighted properly. It was dim. So in one of the last benches, one boy whose, his eyes were like living in a dream. He was so sweet and young. His eyes were, when you look at his eyes were like as if living in a dream. Dream of what? Of maybe hoping for a better future. Of squirrel's game in tree room. Other than this, here the poet says that maybe he is dreaming of going out and playing, jumping around like a squirrel in the tree room, in the hollow of the tree, other than this room. That means metaphorically it is said that he wants some liberation, freedom from there. So in this stanza, the poet says about the despair, the dejection of the elementary school classroom in a slum, including its children, how the children in the slum is. On sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities, belt, flowery, tireless valley. The walls of the classroom have been described here. How it is? Sour cream walls. Sour cream means it is not very bright like, okay? Maybe the entire school, entire classroom was painted long years back with some donation received from the rich class of people. And as donations, they have also received what? Shakespeare's head. That is the bust of Shakespeare. Cloudless at dawn. Sceneries showing cloudless at dawn. When we see a cloudless sky, we feel so good. Civilized dome riding all cities. Sceneries of civilized dome. That is riding all the cities around the slum school. Belt flowery tireless valley. You know the Tyrolese Alpine Valley. It is a very beautiful valley. Yes, with belt flowers there. Like all those kind of sceneries were there in the elementary school classroom. You have seen our classroom, how it is decorated. Our elementary school classroom. So similarly, even that classroom was also decorated. But like it doesn't reflect the reality. Open-handed map awarding the world its world. And even a map is also hung there on the walls. Now, why do we hang all these things on the walls of an elementary school classroom? So that the children get exposure to it and they want to know more about it, where this place exists, who is Shakespeare, all these things. But it is just baseless for these children to have these things inside their classroom, because there is no hope for them to be liberated from that state of poverty. And yet for these children, these windows not just map their world, but as a contrast to the rich people's children, this map, these things that are being hung on the walls of the classroom, that is not their world. They can't afford to go to these places. They can't read Shakespeare. They can't go and visit the civilized domes in and around them, because their future is painted with a fog, because they are not able to come out of that situation. Their future is very bleak, very weak. We have seen that the father, one child has inherited his father's now disease of twisted bones. So you can just imagine, like, they can't hope to come out. Their future is like blotted. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. A narrow street means their future is sealed in with a lead sky. Lead means when you stop something with a lead, like there is a blockage to it, isn't it? So that means what? There is no hope for them. Far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. Their world is far away from capes, rivers. That means the adventurous nature and the stars of words, the books. All these symbolizes the different objects of adventure to explore for their benefit. Surely Shakespeare is wicked. The map, a bad example. The poet says that surely Shakespeare is wicked. For them, in that context of the classroom, for those children, Shakespeare is wicked. The map, a bad example, with ships and sun and loving tempting them to steal. Now, why Shakespeare is wicked and the map a bad example? Whereas in our school, like, we used to have Shakespeare's bust. We may have, children may ask, they want to visit Shakespeare. and the map, which place is this is USA, this is UK. They want to visit for their knowledge, isn't it? But for them, it is wicked and a bad example, which ships in sun and love, tempting them to steal. Because once they come to know of Shakespeare, yes, and once they come to know about the whole world, they are also children like you all. They also want to go and explore Shakespeare. They also want to visit all the places given on the map, but they can't afford it. That is why it is a bad example and it is wicked. Because if they want to do so, what will happen? They will be tempted to be what? They have to steal something from their parents or from their locality and then go to explore. They cannot afford it. That is why it is bad. For lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes, from fog to endless light, these children, they are like, you know, what? They are living in the cramped holes, the place where they stay. Not like a wide space like our house, we have our own rooms, we have our own corners, but they don't have, they're just cramped holes. In one space only, everybody lives, and cramped holes from fog to endless night. It is metaphorical again. From morning till night they are there. Nothing is working out for them. On their slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel. They are like waste of the society. They don't have place. As I told you, in cramped holes they stay. As if like how we dump the waste in a particular place. That is the way that they live in their shelter. We have seen the slums, I think, how they are damped, heaped up. And you know, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass. They are so undernourished that you can see their bones through their skin. They are so skinny. And they wear spectacles. Yes, they also, because of undernourishment, they have to wear spectacles because they have problems with eyesight. So what kind of spectacles do they wear? The discarded ones. Spectacles of steel. Discarded ones, or somebody from the rich society, they have worn it, or they have repaired it, or they have just thrown it away. Like bottle bits on stone, they are deprived of, means all the basic amenities of life. All of their time and space are foggy slum. Entire life, we just can't imagine, unless and until we are there in their shoes, we can't imagine the kind of life these slum children are leading. Just imagine all of their time, that means whole of their life, they are living in a foggy slum. Maybe in some slum, like the government takes some decision to renovate it and give them the basic amenities of life. But here the poet is telling that is a foggy slum where they are living. The living conditions are so poor that it will always remain foggy. So blot their maps with slums as big as doom. So their maps that they have seen, it is all like fake. They're not the real world for them as they have seen in the pictures of the map. With slums as big as doom, as if it has been blotted with that you are bound, you're cursed to live in the slum area. That is as big as doom for them. The final stanza. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Here the poet gives a solution, like how to overcome the situation of these slum children. That is the authority, the governor, the inspector, the visitor, the authority of that state. This map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. They have to come and liberate all these children. They have to come and tell that we will take you out to a different place, give you education. That is, this map will become their window, and these windows till now, it has been as if shut upon their lives like catacombs. You know, catacombs are long underground gallery with excavation in its sides for tombs. The name catacombs before the 17th century was applied to the subterranean cemeteries near Rome. So it is a burial chamber. Okay, so like now they are living a condition of a burial chamber. So it is the duty, the poet says that it is the duty of the authority who is ruling them. They will have to come and help them out, bring them out of that situation. Break, oh break open till they break the town. Here the poet is making a lyrical appeal, very nicely, not giving orders to the authority, but in a lyrical way. Yes, he says, break, oh break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands. So he appeals to them lyrically that you please come and break. Break, oh break means take out, liberate these children out of this slum area, and let them show to the green fields how beautiful the other world is, how beautiful the nature is, and make their world run azure on gold sands. Let them like make their own lives, liberate them out from this place, and give them the exposure, and let them make their own future and own lives, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. Let their tongues, that means delving into books. They should be reading books. That means he makes a lyrical appeal to the authority that you give education to them. Run naked into books and white and green leaves open. History theirs, whose language is the sun. It is then only they will be liberated. Yes, he ends the poem on the positive note. Yes, like I would like to end the poem with a saying of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He said that if you want to glow, shine like the sun, you have to burn like a sun. Then only you will be making history. So in a similar way, the poet says that he appeals lyrically to the authority ruling them to come and liberate them, give them exposure to the other world, other side of the world, give them education, and then let them make their own world, be successful, give education, and they will toil hard, and they are going to make history with their hard work. Thank you.